Welcome back into the pre-game. It's going to be Bifrost versus Dusty. What can we expect?
Mushroom, will you be my NLC host?
I was not expecting that one, but I will.
I need to. I mean, it's good. I'm on the far end side, so I'm just going to scoot over here. Yeah, you can move closer if you want to. I'm over here on the corner.
What can we expect about this game, though?
So from this one, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit on the. I'm so sorry, dude. We talked about a lot of our predictions, right? Dusty have shown us a lot of their good sides recently. More often than not, we're used to seeing their inconsistent sides. I mean, when it came back to the Nymicta power rankings, I put them pretty low, and maybe I've been bitten a bit for that since then. But still, we've kind of seen this very coin flip mentality. Not that Bifrost have been consistent in their own right. This could actually be a very weird game to predict because both these teams have been up and down.
I think it has to come down to the bot lane as well. We just talked about OD as well. I just talked about OD as well.
At length.
And a lot of it will come down to the power of these two laners because you have Venser on the side of Dusty, which has been a proven AD carry in the past. You talk about the inconsistencies. He's for sure shown a lot of them in lane as well, but he's also the same caliber of AD carry that can contest OD at lane because we've seen it before. And he is a guy that likes to take control. I think having a support matchup that favors like the counter matchup for you is really going to do you a great favor moving into this because if you control the waves of the bot side, not only are you able to push your own strength in your team, you're also able to shove down the opponent's strong side as well.
And if you're looking into the bot lane, what about if you take a peek in the mid lane? In my opinion, what is happening with Fury? Obviously, the meta he told us about this is not working out for him so far. He has been playing some weird stuff on solo queue, by the way.
I think that, so even last game he played on the Corki was half quite questionable and half absolutely godlike. You know, this player almost solo won them the game in that late game. Fantastic upper ceiling. He's just been struggling to reach that for most of the split so far. He's played a lot of different champions, especially with, we're on the new patch course 12.3. Potential of some different champions slipping in there and less of that Corki, less of the Twisted Fate as well.
Let's go. No Corki. No Corki. Let's keep it clean.
So let's be real. There's a good chance he still might come.
Yeah.
The changes obviously mattered, but in terms of his damage output, it's still very much the same. So it wouldn't surprise me.
We're not used to. We're not getting rid of the Corki crutch just
yet.
At
least not just not yet. But I think what's been really interesting to me is to see the evolution of red side and blue side bans, because it feels like teams not only here but also on the former patch started to experiment a little bit more, where it's become a lot more target ban oriented instead. And now moving into a new patch where these champions that you're talking about that used to be a priority on the red side, it no longer is. It's very curious to see what team now really would really prioritize, and seeing this locked in would not surprise me when we've already talked about the bot lane matchup.
So I know that we haven't talked, well, we don't tend to talk about bans too much, but I really like the Gwen matchup, ban versus Shikari, because actually out of all Bifrost inconsistencies, Shikari has been rock solid. That Gwen has been crazy for them. Not surprised to see that taken away. On the other side, though, we have like the battle of the hypercarry ADCs, the prime ones of that, the Aphelios locked in for Venser. I love that we've set up this swingy, flippy bot lane matchup, and they've got the champions to show it off.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Do we want to look at a bot lane where they suddenly want to prioritize the Lulu as an enchanter, or are you prioritizing having that counter pick? To no surprise, they're locking in Xin Zhao on second. I think he's still the strongest jungler that you have right now currently to go for.
You can pick stuff like Trundle into it and Poppy, and we've seen that a lot in the NLC. Some regions have not picked it up so much, but don't be surprised if we see it here. The thing about the Xin Zhao is that you do need to have something to play through and to play for. The Aphelios very much helps that. The question is now for Bifrost, you kind of know this is like the S+ tier, we want a front to back you. Xin Zhao pops the ult, your Jinx can't do anything, so Aphelios wins that damage battle. What can you do to make that a little weirder? Ryze can do that with Realm Warps. Plenty of other champions on that more free-form style as well.
Yeah, but that's a short range from the mid lane as well, so, I mean, it's great if you want to kite back. Kiting back into Xin Zhao doesn't always give you the strength you really want, so having some extra movement speed to play around with these carries would be essential. So something like the likes of Karma, Lulu is what I'm really looking at here, and then we have it for the Ryze and for the Jinx.
We get the Lulu. I was hoping to get a Nari. I'm going to be honest. I think she's on a really good spot right now. I was hoping
me
Fury
too. I was
to
hoping
take
that.
it. So it's going to be Tsenkai's on the mid lane. Where's the damage outside of this Jinx? Are they going to give something for Shikari to be the playmaker as well, even without the Gwen?
I mean, something like Ryze does a little bit of damage. The thing about the thing about the Ryze is that he's just really hard to remove. He's just that thorn in your side because he just pulls out the Fimbulwinter and is like, sweet, I got myself a shield. Now, the problem with the Ryze, you are quite low range. Lulu also really doesn't like playing at stuff like the Rel as well. You can't cancel that jump. Lots of ways you can get all in early, level 2, level 3, hell, even earlier than that, level 1, let's be honest, as Rel. So I'm looking at this bot lane from Venza and FGG. That's a potential danger point.
But that's such an interesting rel pick because you still got the likes of Leona up or Nautilus instead if you want to lock down the
Scream's
CC.
level 1 kill.
Yeah, exactly. This is something where you want to flip the laning phase. This is about taking control and try and snowball off the laning phase. Especially since it's coming in on third pick here. I guarantee you, Rel was not going to get banned. You could have gone for another priority pick if you really wanted to, but it goes to show the emphasis on the bot lane that Dusty now has in their draft.
Hear me out here. Is there a potential level 1 plan as well? Because Rel can hop over a lot of walls very early on. I'm wondering if Dusty have something prepared like that. Okay, I know it's on red side. It's a little bit harder to do that.
The seed, definitely here. It is for sure something that can
It's easier
happen.
to do from blue to red side because you can hop over that bot side wall. Just something to put in your minds there.
And we saw a lot of Lulu's top, but there's no possibility that Shikari is going to play a Lulu top.
Well, so the PCS and the LGL started up in the last week. They had a Spard mid and a Poppy top, and we've seen lots of the Enchanters top too. Technically, you could play something anywhere.
Now, we are moving into the composition where Dusty, they already know what the mid laner they are moving up against, so they should realistically speaking fourth pick their mid laner here, which is why you can already see Bifrost, they're taking away the Vex. I'm kind of going through my mind right now, thinking what would be great into the Bifrost champions. Honestly think, although it might be a little bit unorthodox, Syndra would be great into what they're trying to achieve as well, because it does create a lot of space for you as well. Orianna would be a great answer as well. Just create extra movement speed, create choke points with the shockwaves as well. We already talked about it. Ryze fairly short range, so I'm expecting a mid laner here for Dusty.
It could also be something like, looking at these champions right now, something like Aatrox isn't awful. You have the Ryze, which is already pretty good, and if you do find a good angle onto the Jinx, that's
You give Shikari counter pick, because that's the thing. If you fourth pick your top laner here, you are going to give counter pick over. Now, granted, this is a flex, but it would not surprise me to see it go up against the Ryze.
Yeah, it could go up against the Ryze. It could also go blind pick top as well. Lots of matchups that's fine into. And then the question is, you know, what do you do to kind of secure both your lanes at that point? If you knew this Akali was going top, plenty of things you can go into it. If you know it's going mid though, then obviously it opens up the top wall. So you don't exactly have yourself an easy run of things. So that's the Trundle I was talking about. While Xin Zhao is at the top of like the tree of traditional junglers, Trundle has been my preferred counter pick into it. If you dive in too far, the ult gets popped from the Trundle. Xin Zhao gets popped even with that ultimate. Ryze runs inside your Crescent Guard range and you get removed from the field very, very easily. So I think that's a very heads-up pick. It also works against the immobile backline of something like the Fellows quite well.
Yeah, it's a tricky position right now for Bifrost. Yeah, I was thinking, like, do you go Gangplank here instead and try and create more space with the barrels? The thing is, even that can be difficult with the champions you have right now on the side of Dusty. So, yeah, that's my thought process as well. I think it's a tricky positioning to be in, where you have to blind pick there. In my mind, I thought as well, maybe you just go completely weak side, just draft off the Malphite. But there is strong side right now to play for on boss right. Bifrost. Down in the bot lane, you have your Jinx and Lulu, but looks like they're mostly just going to be scaling, and then you want to focus some of the attention on the top side instead.
Okay, so now you're looking at something which can, you know, deal with the Camille early. Something like a Graves or a Tryndamere would have been good to build that Hull Breaker. They've gone for something a little more teamfight-oriented in the Gragas. You weak side more than fine. The matchup is absolutely okay into the Camille. You disengage with your body slam so well. And you also are very good as a tank frontline into something like the Trundle, because if they put up the pillar and they try and force you into a fight, well, you just ult them while you E out. That's fine. I think this is the best of the remaining tank options into the team which Bifrost had, and it allows, again, a Fellows to have that extra degree of safety against the Camille.
I think jungle tracking is going to be extremely pivotal here because down towards the bot side, for Bifrost, I don't think you have much play potential. You want to let this Jinx and Lulu scale. But the thing is, that's a point of attack for Dusty. They drafted a weak side for themselves with the Gragas. So whoever can keep their lane stable while they play for that power lane is most likely going to come out on top ahead in this game round.
In terms of the jungle tracking, it's even more important because I feel like this is all counter ganks from C-Boy. You don't have any aggressive options. You're there to deny everything and turn a play around. If they manage to turn up to a play in time when they're trying to respond to a proactive play, I think that Bifrost have a good angle. But outside of that, the early options are limited.
Bifrost doesn't want to lose any more games. He wants to stay on the top 3. And if they win this one, we'll tie up for second place at the end of the day. Or maybe Dusty can run away from that 5th place. But we'll have to know more as soon as we send it for the first time in the studio. Hiprain alongside with Trouble.
Thank you very much, Arkarom, you beautiful man. Hello and welcome to the caster desk.
No, wait, what's that? Oh no, it's the return of Hiprain and the return of B1 Jinx.
Was it Gulborg?
It was Gulborg. He said that because a lot of teams found a way to deal with it, B1 Jinx, after week 3, was going to get stomped. And honestly, with the way that Dusty have drafted, I actually favor them at this point in time.
Interesting. Well, we'll find out whether or not Gulborg's going to look like a little bit of a plonker, or maybe if B1 Jinx works, as we will be heading into the Rift for our first game of week 6 here, day number 1. All eyes on Bifrost and Dusty for this first game. I want to talk a little bit about where we're watching, who we are watching in this game, because obviously Shikari has got himself that Camille, and it was noted on the desk for if this Gragas gets kind of beaten up in lane, it could get a little bit harder. That is obviously the weak side pick here. But who are you watching right now, Georgia?
I think I like the approach you're taking here, Hiprain. I really like the fact that Shikari is on a carry again. He's played the Gwen very well. It's worked for Bifrost. He's been able to 1v9 a bunch of games. Right now on the Camille, I think he pretty much has the exact same role in the team. He has to be the carry, he has to be the one diving into the backline later on in the fight, and he has to be finding the key targets. Also, I think he's going to be the one that's going to be on Akali control, because once you lock Akali in, she cannot be dashing in and out to try and get to your backline. So, fortunately for Bifrost, Shikari is on a carry champion like the Camille. He's gone for the Ignite as well, which means that they will want to play towards the tops of the map. Unfortunately, Aelif is a fantastic Gragas player and a fantastic weak side top laner. And personally for me, I just really love Gragas on weak side. You can evade ganks very easily. I mean, we've seen what Wanda can do on a tower dive 1v3, taking two with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, with Gragas, where he's got the mobility, he's got the wave clear, he has the sustain built into the kit. He is a good weak sider. Shikari is a player, though, who, you know, I've followed for a very, very long time.
Are you the one who the Return of the King?
Return of the King. He's just a solid player, man. Like, it doesn't matter whether or not he's on a winning side, a losing side, he's just consistently good. That is the main takeaway I have for this guy, and I'm going to see how he's going to be playing in this one. Lands out early. That's a very long hook shot, but does land it onto Aelif, and you know, I don't expect any kill pressure quite yet, but he does have that Ignite, and he will get to that point where Aelif will just have to pay the respect. Obviously, he does have that flash on the Gragas, so has a bit of additional mobility. You can see Aelif from the summoner choices, not looking to scrap versus Shikari, who has hit level 2 first. You can see Fury getting a nice shove in here into backline, and he's able to just drop a ward down. Keep an eye on where Viking is, because Viking is the person on Dusty we're really tracking, right?
I mean, technically speaking, I think Viking is the spear, but also the shield for Dusty. He is the one that's going to get him the aggressive place. He's going to be the one who's the initiator, and he's also going to be the one to defend the team. Now we're talking in the Rift, but also, what's it called? It's like a metaphor as well, because I feel like Dusty lives and dies by Viking's sword. By Viking's sword. If Viking does well in a game, Dusty will do well. If Viking does very poorly, Dusty will unfortunately not win. And I think a lot comes down to the synergy as well between Buckland and Viking. When we've seen it being on point in games, then it turns out to be a victory. When we've seen it being a little bit poor and Buckland is being pushed behind in his lane, it doesn't end up being that favorable to Dusty.
Shikari might be thinking about this. That hook shot still on cooldown for a long while, so Aelif should be A-okay. Takes a swig of the old beer. We're winding this skin, let's be real. And it's just going to return to normal, though. I think once that combo comes back up, he might have this. He's got the Ignite. Aelif bots him back for a moment. There's the tactical sweep for the slow. The barrel slow comes in. Shikari lobs down the Ignite, and Aelif is burning, but is he going to burn low enough? Potions ticking, and he's able to heal himself back up. Shikari unable to find that kill.
Nah, but look at that. Shikari burned his Ignite, and he didn't manage to kill Aelif. Now Seaboy over to the bot side of the map takes the flash off of Venza. Now something that was said on the desk is that Bifrost don't necessarily have the aggro button early on. They're not necessarily going to be looking for ganks, they're going to be looking for counter ganks to Viking. Now, Here's my thought process. I feel like pre-6, Akali is pretty gankable, especially when you're playing Ryze. You can camp her underneath her tower, you can pin her in place, and putting down the correct pillar can take her flash really easily. Same for Aphelios, right? Aphelios is a very mobile AD carry. You walk into lane, you put down the pillar, Venza has the flash. That is a flashless AD carry. What does that mean? That means that if Bifrost want to move towards the bot side river and try to contest for a dragon, it will be that much easier to get onto Venza if Dusty want to contest that. So really well done right there by C-Boy, finding his way down the bot lane, taking that flash, meaning that they will most likely be able to take a free first dragon.
Actually, I want to take a brief moment and talk a little bit about the jungle mid synergy, because you hit on the fact that, you know, you want to see backline play through Viking, but Fury and C-Boy, who do you think actually has the nicer jungle synergy here? At least a jungle mid synergy here early.
I'm going to be honest, I think Fury in general has been struggling a lot this split. He said it himself in an interview. He said, I would rather play more of the carry champions. And now here's my question, because a lot of the times we see these carry champions being played. We've seen Sylas, we've seen Akali, heck, we've seen Zed being played in the NLC. I think it mainly has to do with Bifrost and how they like to draft and how Fury has sort of taken the facilitator control made's role in the mid. Whatever the team needs, he will provide, and this is exactly what he does, right? If he doesn't have to be the carry, he's not the carry, he's falling back into these control mages. Now, I think that hasn't necessarily thrown him off the loop, but he hasn't been that standout player that we have seen in previous iterations of the NLC.
Oh, hold on. Looks
Seasons,
like
rather.
Viking has been spotted out by this ward, so Odin Duel should probably just play nice and chill here.
The problem is the wave is pushing.
Yes.
So whether they like it or not, they're gonna have to shove this wave. Viking knows that the wave is pushing, and as you can see, C-Boy is literally speed running it down bot. He's been spotted by a ward though.
Yeah, this could be really painful for Bifrost. The wave could get set up in a really nasty position. This gank is working without even burning a summoner spell, without even showing your face.
Fury has ultimate though.
They are bringing down C-Boy, and yeah, like you said, Fury does have that realm warp, so once he gets spotted moving over the ward, again, just an effective gank by not even ganking, just enough to scare Dusty off, but we might be looking at a 4-man tower dive here, potentially. It looks like they decided against that. Maybe if C-Boy had that subjugate, that would be available, but the Graviton's gonna lock them all in place, and they're jumping in. FTG onto Odie. Odie's had to flash away. Here comes the realm warp, and it's first blood for Viking. The rest of the Goon Squad are gonna show up, and Bifrost will lose Viking in response. Fury will get the answer kill.
Okay, this is a 1-for-1, but I'm pretty sure right here, because Bifrost has the shove, they can actually translate that towards the dragon as well and try to take this away from Dusty as well.
Shikari can do this. He's got the ultimate. He dodges with his Hextech ultimatum. Shikari solo kill in the top lane.
Oof, a little bit of an overextension right there for Aelif. He's trying to crush his wave. He's trying to hard shove it underneath the tower, but he doesn't have the chance to because Shikari's Ignite is back up. And we're not actually done because Backland is coming from that opening and C-Boy is not level 6.
Oh, Duel, he has to flash. There's nowhere to go, but FTG may follow over as Backland landed the E. Goes in with the perfect execution. He's taking so much damage over the wall here. The Raptors are going to do a lot more. Fury going to chase him for a little bit more. Got the corrupting potion ticking. A little bit more bonus damage is necessary. And there it is. Fury finds the kill.
Okay, it's been kills galore all over the place. And if we take stock right here, I think it's Fury that's coming out ahead in them. He's grabbed 2 kills. He's about 10 CS above his opposition, but the dragon goes to the side of Dusty. So that's 1 win con for them. And honestly, I really want to commend Dusty right here for the decision making. They knew that C-Boy and Fury had left to go for the dragon. What do? They instantly take all it down together with his double summoners. The unfortunate thing is they lose their jungler in the process, because Bifrost are really quick to respond with the Ryze ultimate. No jungler down meant no pressure on the dragon, but Backland was really quick on the rotation, so they ended up bullying C-Boy away, who was not level 6 yet.
What a return to the studio for me. I love these fights, and we're getting so many of them. And C-Boy delivering in. They are a Hex flash over, but there's the pillar to slow them down. Venza's jumping in. Look at the damage. He's actually going very low, but they're going to find the turnaround. Venza with the double kill. C-Boy will take him down, and FGG next up on the menu. Or maybe not. It's the support. Turn around. C-Boy. He's going to get bonked by FGG. What the hell was that?
Oh my god, Venser coming in huge! His previous performance onto that Aphelios was so questionable. We kept saying, mate, you're finding yourself in the most uncomfortable situation, so you're dying in first. Again, Dusty bot lane is doing so much work for them.
Fury's been seen.
The guys at the desk talked so much about the Bifrost bot lane, how Oddi's like first in every AD carry stat, and Dusty are shutting this down. This is a very Dusty rotation here as well. If you want to take it a step further, they will always rotate the entire team towards the top side of the map for that Rift Herald. And honestly, having a 2-1 and 2 Aphelios, oh, I'm glad we had.
Oh, he had murder guns.
Because he has
murder guns.
He
Don't
has the
fight
best
him.
guns available. He swaps because it was his last bullet of the lifesteal one, but he has so many chakrams already stacked up, and a beautiful ultimate by FTZ to keep everyone locked up. Mind you, half of this fight, Venza was polymorphed, and he still pulled out that much damage. That was dirty. Really, really, really well played on that 2v3 from the side of Dusty.
Red and white say goodnight. You don't fight an Aphelios when he's got the item combination, those gun
Okay,
combinations.
in their defense, the red one was like coming off.
Anyway, we might have to hold this because Shikari's getting jumped onto, trying to dodge away the Hextech ultimatum. Hook shots away. Shikari's out of there.
Yep, very well played. And this is why a lot of the times you see Ignite instead of Flash for the Camille, because she has such an easy way of evading situations. But again, let's take a stock right here because, okay, let's not take a stock yet because I'm smelling another dive and another fight coming by, but that is mad respect from the side of Dusty's bot lane. They know that the jungler was on the other side of the map, so they respected and moved back. Now that Viking is making his way towards the bot side of the map, they're feeling a little bit more safe to push down that lane. Mind you, now Venza's summoners are both back up and available, so that means that maybe they can turn an even easier 2 versus 3 around.
Viking's down here. He wants to make this gank work so he can crack open this tower that Rift Herald he's got in his inventory right now. And it looks like they've obviously got the flamethrower guns, so they're able to shove this in with that Infernum on Venza.
It's just really difficult to push against the Jinx Lulu. It's just a very fast clearing lane for both of them. I think Viking was mostly there for the counter gank because they possibly expected C-Boy to take a loop around and try to go again for the 3 versus 2. Viking has done a great job. We said from the start he's going to be the facilitator for his team every time Dusty lives and dies by Viking. He's done such a great job at playing around his bot lane, at being there, at playing for the counter ganks. And even though he hasn't been that energetic and visible on the Rift himself to gank, he's playing Xin Zhao. He doesn't have to. All he has to do is farm and play shield for his Aphelios later on in the team fights. So right now, he's taking it very easy, he's taking it very slow. He's allowing his lanes to farm up as well. Aelif is playing weak side. He's even in CS, as you can see, versus Sikari. Viking is ahead right now versus C-Boy. The mid lane for a melee versus control maids matchup. I think Buckle has been doing very well on his CSing so far. And of course, bot lane with a double kill, Venzer is ahead. Ooh, I really like the usage of the Rift Herald right here, putting more money into the Akali, but that's a 4 versus 1, buddy.
He's got flash though, he's able to jump away, doesn't get hit by the Wind Becomes Lightning, and they're going to be able to hold out onto this tower. It does lose a bunch of plates though, so a bit lower for the next one to take down if they want to use it that way.
I wonder if that netted the Akali the Proto Belt. If Buckland is going for the Proto Belt, I wonder if this is why the Rift Herald was popped in the mid lane as well, because there's the second dragon coming up.
Yeah.
And I think Dusty would want to fight this, but there's a huge wave being shoved into the mid lane, and Buckland's going to be quite busy clearing this up. Also, Shikari has roamed all the way from top lane, so I think this is the perfect opportunity for Aelif to shove in yet another wave and push Shikari a little bit further. Well, not behind, but push him as in around the map, right? Because Shikari had to TP to catch that wave on the top side of the map, and he had to walk all the way down the river. Backline, unfortunately, does not have his item. Oh, he does. Okay, he just completed his Proto Build, so he did have it. He did have the item available, but unfortunately, Ryze is a very annoying mate.
Oh, they're coming
really
in.
Fast. This is a 3v3 though this time.
Oh, this could be messy if they want to go for it. Venza hasn't got the perfect team fighting guns, but does at least have that Infernum.
Oh, Fury's there.
There's going to be the pillar thrown down onto Venza. Fury's coming in as well. They're jumping in for the knockup. Venza's untouched. The Magnet Storm onto free. Into the Moonlight Vigil. C-Boy going to be able to get himself the kill on to FGG. The rest of the team flash away. The rocket comes in. And that's going to be everything for the side of Bifrost. They get their 1 kill. They're happy with that and they'll walk away. Venza now has to be oh so careful. Couple of plates may just fall here. They haven't really got enough time to fully commit and take the tower with it. But
oh, look at Buckland. Look at
Buckland.
Buckland. He's on his way top. And Shikari needs to respect the fact that he's playing on the side without his teammates. really well played this time. C-Boy is level 6, and you see how strong it is when you steal all these defenses away from the Zinza. Viking tries to tank right there, and FTG is a beautiful 3-man ultimate, but of course this is a 3 versus 4, and that Trundle has the extra defenses again from the stolen Zinzao, Amar, and armor, and all the defenses that he has, plus the Lulu ultimate, plus the shields. This Trundle is gonna need a few more Fellas items before he goes down.
Well, let's talk about items. Let's see where we're at as we take stock of that. Divine Thunder are picked up onto Shikari.
You've got probably coming
in. Kraken Slayer onto OD right now. Everybody's got a mythic other than the support on the side of Bifrost. Everyone also has a mythic on the side of Dusty, so they are starting to build up their items themselves. And the gold lead is very close. It's only 800 that separates both of these teams. Even though there's been a lot of action, it's been back and forth gains. Nobody's secured that first tower yet, so there is just a little bit, you know, of gold that will start to swing either way depending on how the next couple of fights or the next couple of rotations go for these teams.
And honestly, I was about to say, let's take a stock and see where we could see these teams later on. Let's see where we see these teams when the next Dragons come up. Because I see them both wanting to stack them. Of course, it's going to be the Ocean Soul, which is huge for back and forth fights. And if we look on the side of Bifrost, you've got the Camille that wants to dive the backline. And then you've got the Rise that can defend against anyone diving into the Jinx together with the Lulu and the Trundle as the front line. Now, this is not always very easy to execute, and I think it's going to depend a lot on Shikari and his positioning and his management of how to get onto Venza in the backline. But it has happened. We've seen Carlson do it. Shikari has been able to carry Bifrost a lot of times on the Gwen. I believe he can do it here on the Gwen as well. On the Camille as well. On the other side, I think Dusty's composition is just so much easier to play.
Oh, no.
Venza might have to block his flash here, actually.
I
Nope?
think
Okay.
he's going to be A-okay, but I almost agreed with you for a moment there.
So, going back to Dusty, I think their composition is quite much easier to play when it comes to a front-to-back, right?
Wait, hold on. They've got the Magnet Storm. Venza's got the Murder Guns as well. Odie going to eat that ultimate. There's a lot of Chakrams stacked up. Able to turn it around with the Zap, though. And in comes the backup. The Rocket gets flashed away. Venza holds onto it. Look at that damage onto the Lulu. And Dusty, they've brought a teleport in, but it's a little bit too little. It's a little bit too late.
Oh, he just about... I forget the name of the sniper gun every time. Sorry?
Calibrum, I believe.
Calibrum. Okay. Thank you. He had so many chakrams. If he was able to land so he can actually cash all these chakrams in, that would have been great. But
He didn't.
it's not gonna,
There you
it's
go.
not going to be the case. But at the end of the day, by having 4 members again down by Bifrost to try and fence off the 2 versus 2 that Dusty is putting against Bifrost's bot lane, netted them a mid lane tier 1, which is so important for the fights to come. You want to get into that Dragon Pit area, you want to get into the river in general, having that mid lane tier 1, having that darkness in the mid lane for your opponents where they have to push further in without the security of a tower is just so strong, especially when you have assassins like an Akali that wants to be flanking and playing around Fog of War.
Shikari looking for Elif here. Has that hook shot, is going to get dodged with the fancy feet. A little bit of help to the phase rush as he jumps out, bops the belly bop for the moment into the Hextech Ultimatum. Elif heals up, knocks him out with the cask, and now he's actually got the cooldown reduction to make this work. So Shikari has to be a little bit careful here. Is just going to call it there, but actually goes for that hook shot. The belly bop comes out once again, and Shikari not going to continue the trade anymore.
The back and forth in the top lane is so insane. Whilst Bifrost is actually looking for
Here
a
comes
tier
Viking.
1 mid lane tower. Backland is all the way in the
Wind has
bot lane.
become lightning, not going to go for anything else, and actually he's going to get turned onto. The Crescent Guard comes out defensively to keep him alive. That was a bit of an optimistic one by Viking, I'll say that much.
He was very overzealous because Buckland is all the way in the bot lane. He's pushed in the wave so they can enter through both sides of the river because the next Dragon is back up and available, but Viking has burned his ultimate. Now let's see if Buckland will be able to get anything from the flank.
Oh, there's the Magnet Storm to multiple members. In goes Backlund. He's got himself one already. Fury taking a lot of damages. Odie untouched for the moment. Just trying to find those rockets. Shikari and Elif have joined into the fight, and Dusty are running away with blinking health bars as they've locked Shikari in place. He hooks shots to safety, and that's just going to be the one kill for the side of Dusty. Looks like Bifrost is just going to have to concede this dragon.
And it just looks really easy. Again, the front to back is just so easy to execute from the side of Dusty. It's just the ease of execution here is just winning Dusty these team fights straight up. I think they're playing this very very slow, like they should be. And even though Viking did end up burning his ultimate right there, at the end, I think FGG is making everything work for the side of Dusty. If you ask me and you told me Audi versus Duel, or Audi and Duel versus Venzer FGG, who wins the 2 versus 2? I would have said Audi versus Duel every single time. But I feel like Venzer and FGG are putting a really good fight in this game, and they're pulling Dusty ahead.
That champion is bonkers. Goes in the Hextech Ultimatum. He gets belly bot. The timing is perfect. Finds the kill with the Ignite and survives the dive. Shikari showing up in the top lane. Looks like we might have some action here by the blue buff itself, but Dusty just forcing C-Boy away from the jungle. That blue buff will be secured by Backland, and that'll be all she wrote over there.
Yeah, that was really huge by Shikari. Very well played, because Alif still has his teleport available. So had their fight broken down that bot side river, Alif would have been able to TP to that and make it a 4 versus 5. Again, you see that I just really love the fact that he bops him underneath the tower with the ultimate, but then Shikari that Q is like just like a Cho'Gath arm, man. I don't know what to say about this champion.
True damage is healthy.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. I have to admit, though, Alif did a really good job of timing the...
Cho'Gath R in like a few seconds cooldown.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it gives a shield. The first half, anyway. But he did time really well on the body slams. Multiple times in a row, timing it so it would land at the perfect time to see Shikari. It would slow down the damage. It wasn't really enough because he still died, but it was still, you know, impressive stuff from him. Fury, unable to stop the charge from the Herald, is going to see a big chunk taken out of that bot lane tier 1 tower. Gold lead, as I look in right now, is still 800 gold. It is all to play for, but Kari might be looking to extend that gold lead a little bit more with the help of C-Boy.
Oh, look at the TP though from
Elif's going to
Backland.
walk away. They've got Backland teleport, and then all of Dusty collapsing. That Lulu's in for a world of hurt because they find the E. Duel able to get away for now, but the rest of the team are up on the backup for Backland. He's got himself his little field to work with as FGG Hex flashes over the wall to make sure the Backland doesn't go down. That'd be a tier 1 falling in the top side.
I don't know if that's worth it right here from Dusty, unless they find some kills and turn it into a Baron, because look at the 2 carries from the side of Bifrost. They're just shoving wave after wave after wave. They're taking down bot lane tier 2. All these pushing 2 waves and they're crashing them into tier 2 mid lane tower. And all that Dusty has to show for it is a top lane tier 1. So I would say, all in all, this trade benefits Dusty because they managed to get so much solo experience and gold onto their carries.
Yeah, they honestly achieved a lot there. C-Boy not going to interrupt that recall, just waiting for him to disappear so you can clear the ward out.
The funny thing is that these both teams have been looking for picks the entire time.
It's been action-packed.
It doesn't matter what neutral objective is up or isn't up. They're just looking for blood. And honestly, if I was Bifrost, if I was the on-paper better team that can play with this aggression, I would keep doing that. I would keep pressuring Dusty to possibly allow them to fall into mispositions and mistakes that Bifrost has punished so well in the past. So I really love the fact that Bifrost keeps the pressure up, especially towards the top side of the map. This is your strong side. 3-0 rise with a defensive second item, which means Akali can no longer sideline. You can no longer kill that rise on a sideline, and neither can you with Gragas, because Gragas is also AP.
Yes.
He's not going to be hurting the rise. Shikari, he's actually level 14. He's a level above both solo laners with also an item and a half. And if he backs very soon, he'll probably have his Hydra completed as well. So you can't match Shikari on a side lane either, especially with the Ignite. And Bifrost can literally go on a 1-3-1 and be unstoppable.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is normally it'd be like, yeah, they should keep this aggression up, but they haven't got that much gold, or they haven't got a massive gold lead. The gold is very close between these 2 teams. But I think that's semi-irrelevant when you look at the comps.
Yeah.
They're quite happy being even in gold. When you got a Rise, when you got a Jinx, 2 champions who really hyper scale, you're going to be quite happy to just be even right now.
I'd love to
picking
know
up these objectives.
If we can click on that Rise, I'd love to know his HP bar, because Akali has 2.1. He has almost 3,000 HP on him. This is massive. Good luck assassinating that.
Yeah, I mean, Backland is now not looking to assassinate Fury. That's not his job. That's someone else's. That's someone else's problem.
whoever is stuck against the Ryze lane will always have to shove in 1 or 2 waves depending on how many Fury has stacked up.
Yes.
Which means that Fury gets to roam the map first, which is why it's so important when we mentioned the 1-3-1 and nobody being able to match Ryze in a side lane. You see that Buckland doesn't have his teleport up and available. What does Fury do? He shoves in 2 waves underneath the tower. Buckland had to reply the top side, which means that now Buckland and Dusty are late to this objective, which is the next dragon that's coming up.
But if they can get it, this will be dragon number 3 for Dusty. They don't have the vision, though. That's the hard thing. They're fighting into basically complete darkness. There's that one ward behind them. Backland's found himself in an okay position. Lands the flip onto C-Boy, who flashes out, secures the dragon for his team. But FGG jumps in. A 3-man Magnustorm. Odie's untouched, though. It's a 1-kill pickup for the side of Dusty. Make it 2. Here comes Shikari. But he's popped by the perfect execution. And the fight is beautiful for the side of Dusty. Bifrost are just knocked out. A triple kill for Backland and a clean ace for Dusty.
And they're also beelining for the Baron as well. Screw the Dragons. It's only the second one for Bifrost. Absolutely dismantle them on what this composition was built to do, which was team fights, which was front to back. They cat C-Boy, they punish C-Boy. We mentioned how strong Bifrost is on the side lanes, but then they grouped up to fight, and instead of pulling out, securing the dragon and pulling out, they actually wanted to fight this back. All the oversteps and FTG with another beautiful engage. You see how well this composition is meant to work. Venza untouched. Buckland, nobody can keep him down, especially when the Lulu is the one that dies first, and you can pull him off the Akali, you can use your ultimate on anyone. I think this was so well executed by Dustin. Again, they have the superior teamfight composition.
Yeah.
You need to use your 1-3-1 if you're Bifrost. Force them in unfavorable fights. Use the strength of your carries. Your Camille is so far ahead, she's so strong. Nobody can stand against her on the side lane. Ryze, the same. Use that.
It was funny to watch that fight because there's a moment where you could see Odie going, I'm doing it. I'm untouched. I can just rocket
Until
span this
FTG
fight.
was like,
and
nope.
then Backland just comes in and slaps him like, no, there goes your entire health bar. This is the scary thing about that Akali, and now with 3 kills picked up, Shadow Flame there, teleport coming in. Is Backland going to follow him? No way. No way. He's not doing it. I wish.
Well, he didn't know where he was TPing, so he could have been taking him in the entire team, right?
The true alpha players to take that. You'll find out where you're going when you get there.
Jake, what's your rank?
I don't play Akali either, to be honest.
Cool.
There's a reason I don't play Akali,
right.
because I would follow that.
So, with Baroned up, Team Dusty, of course, have burned up their wave and they're making their way towards that mid lane tier 2. Again, taking mid lane towers is so important because Darkness and Fog of War work so well, especially when you're playing assassins again like Akali that wants to hide around the fog, that wants to hide in the darkness, take you by surprise and assassinate you. And also they're using their waves very well and they're pushing them at the same time to be able to take 2 towers. Now, Buckland's taking a little bit too much damage right there, but he does have the teleport. If Dusty wants to reset right here, because actually they had the perfect wave crashing in the mid lane, and they had another wave pushing in the bot lane, they're not going to take this chance. I think Buckland is going to TP back on that, because they have to.
Yeah.
Now their waves are a little bit, mismatched. I think they can just take this tower with the cannon being baroned up, and then they might have to back off.
Looks like they're looking for the fight. Viking's been caught. He's popped down the ultimate. There is Venza with the murder guns. Bifrost are being liquefied by him. Elif jumps in, lands himself the barrel, and here comes the cavalry. Backland is not going to be able to get close enough as Venza now trying to just get a little bit more additional damage into Fury. Not going to be able to quite find it. But he gets himself a killing spree. And Dusty take this tower. They've still got Baron to work with. They've got a second cannon on the way to be baroned up. And this tower's going to go down. They're going to crack the base.
The most that Dusty could take out of this play was that bot lane tier 2. Bifrost oversteps and gets their ankles cut off cleanly by Venza. When you see red and white, you kindly and respectfully walk away. Bifrost did not respect that, got instantly punished, lost an inhibitor out of that Baron plane. If we see this again, you'll see that Dusty are waiting patiently for that Baroned up cannon to take the tower, and then again, Viking tanks so much. You thought it was only Gwen, it's also Zinza with that ultimate, and then Verza absolutely murders them. He's got so many chakrams stacked up there. Red and white means you want to fight close range, and obviously Camille and Trundle are melees, so they do fight you close range.
It's really nice to see this version of Dusty as well, because kind of before we got into the show, me and you were talking, and it's something that we hit on as well at the beginning, is, you know, for the side of Dusty, they want to be playing through Viking. It's mid-jungle. But yes, Backline is having a great game. And Viking, you know, not a bad KDA, but I don't think he's like the crucial one. Yes. The crucial person is Venza right now. He's been having some amazing fights, and we had some worries about positioning from Venza on this champion.
I love this. So what we mentioned last time Venza had played the Aphelis, I think Golbog said it very well. He's like, he has an assassin emblem on top of his head, like he's playing TFT. He would find himself behind opponent backline, which was crazy how he would find himself there. And yes, his position was very, very, very questionable. That game was very questionable for the side of Venza. This time, they have giga gapped OD and Duel.
Yeah.
They 2v3'd, they 2v2'd. Every time Venza and FTG would pull the trigger 2 versus 2, 4 members of Bifrost had to reply so that Bifrost bot lane does not die. And that has been huge by Dusty because it alleviated so much pressure off of A-Leaf, so much pressure off of Backland, who actually suffer in their current matchups.
Yeah, it's been
Oh my god, look at that, look at that. A-Leaf, don't do it. Oh no, 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 no.
He's got Backland. Backland's pretty strong. But yeah, they are going to cool it.
Everyone's also coming towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, they're going to cool it, although, yeah, they are. Okay, they're fine, they're fine. That was a little bit of a scary moment. Now, if you look at the top left of your screens, you'll see there's still a bit of time until that dragon comes up. But for Dusty, that will be Ocean Soul. So expect it to get hairy down there because Dusty with this Ocean Soul, adding sustain to a team that's able just to sustain fight this well and keeping Backland alive, going to be absolutely huge. But the Baron spawning up even sooner means you can see Dusty are leaning up towards this side of the map. And Bifrost, I mean, they can hold the waves.
I think this is where A-Leaf's respect came from as well, where he didn't move away from his tower because they knew that Bifrost knew that Dusty wants to play towards the top side of the map. Baron spawns in about 35 seconds. You want to establish a lot of vision onto the top quadrant of C-Boy's jungle, and you want to play towards the top side of the map. And you don't want to allow Bifrost to walk freely into the jungle. What does that mean? You need to push mid, and you need to push top lane, which is exactly what Dusty is doing right now. Put down your vision, reset, and then dive back in with new vision, which is exactly what they're going to do right now. They're going to push both ways. They're going to back, they're going to reset, they're going to buy their items, they're going to buy all control wards, and they're going to walk back. Very crucially, there's 2 stopwatches on the side of Dusty. One on FGG and one on Backland. On Backland, fine, but FGG is playing the Rel. And the other person that we've seen that hourglass from was Kasing on that Leona. FGG has been the absolute playmaker for Dusty right now. So that hourglass is coming in clutch every single time. Bifrost think they can take him down. That he actually denies the kill, which means that Dusty are able to turn this around. And again, Dusty is forcing Bifrost into a 5v5 that's never favorable for Bifrost.
Look at Backline, look at FGG, off on the 2 flanks. C-Boy's going to step up, he's going to get belly bopped and locked in place. FGG waiting for the perfect opportunity to jump in, and C-Boy's already chunked. Going to use that stopwatch by FGG, but the chase is on for the side of Dusty. Shikari's being jumped onto by Backline. He's still got the second half, the perfect execution. Lands the E, doesn't pull the trigger, and just backs off back towards Baron.
Okay.
They've still got time before this dragon comes up.
We have to look at ultimates. The only ones available is Shikari's from the side of Bifrost. They have none of the other crucial ultimates for the members of Bifrost. But on the other side, we have Moonlight Vigil, we have Rel ult as well. This could be massive for the next fight. All eyes on FGG. Can he actually make this engage work? Because Fury is keeping him away.
If they clump, Venza's Infernum ultimate could be absolutely massive. They're jumping in. The fight is on. Shikari's already secured 1 kill. He's pinned in place, and Venza is going to flash forward into his face and secure the kill. But here comes Odie! Oh no, he doesn't! It's turned around! Look at the burst! Look at the damage! Venza's on his lonesome. No, he's going to find a kill. He's going to go into the stopwatch. Backland can do nothing but watch, but he takes another one on the way out. Venza is a madman!
Okay, that was actually huge by Bifrost. All props to Fury right there. We mentioned over and over again.
Oh no, it's gone so wrong for Backland. Oh no, it hasn't. What the hell? This is just madness.
Okay, so all in all, that is a 3 for 3, if a 4 for 3 at the end of the day in favor of Bifrost. because this time Dusty split. Look at Fury. Look at Fury. FTG has been so instrumental for every single one team fight for the side of Dusty. And right now he's been zoned away by Fury, which means he cannot put down that huge engage that has allowed Venza to actually wreak havoc in the backline. You see how much damage he's doing, but his front line is not there. Viking has been shredded to pieces. FTG is dead, so all that this Aphelios can actually do is hope for one last auto attack to kill someone, which was not the case. And right there, Buckland is actually gonna take the bait onto Duel. It's a very squishy Lulu, but he ends up giving his life away from it. All in all, Baron is not gonna go down. I think Dusty need to reconsider the way they're team fighting. FTG is very crucial. He needs to be there.
Oh, this could be a really big pick. Look at the time. If they kill Viking here, Dragon is secured. But Venza's looking to turn it around. Can't quite find it. Backland is on the flank, though. So is Shikari. Backland has to be careful. I think Shikari needs to hold Backland. Keep him off Odie. That is the only way they're able to win these fights.
Again, all eyes on FGG. He has no flash to pull any of these flashy engages on anyone this time.
Yeah.
If FTG is kept away from the fight, Dusty cannot win this. They have been so reliant on his R button to keep Venza DPS in. Viking yet again loses his ultimate, whilst on the other side, Seaboy has his, which means that actually Dusty right here, if I was Dusty, I would beeline Baron right here. You just give third dragon to Bifrost, but maybe they just want to fight the front to back.
They really want this soul. They really want it. Stormwatch is going to get used. They're going to miss the Moonlight Vigil. Look at Backline who's coming in. The Magnet Storm's huge, and they're going in for the assassination. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but everybody is just melting. Venza is remaining untouched. He gale forces forward into Shikari. Shikari is able to run away for the moment as Fury is trying to bounce around this magic, trying to weave out that damage, but he is pinned in place and he is taken down. Venza with the shutdown coming up absolutely huge for the side of Dusty, and with only 2 left, it looks like Bifrost are just going to have to limp away, but Venza is hot on the heels. A brilliant Glitter Lance will slow him down. They're going to be able to at least get the inhibitor here, and maybe more. The death timers are fairly long. Seaboy's coming up in 16 seconds, though. Odie as well in 15, so it's very soon. They don't really have the wave to work with, so I think if you're Dusty, take Soul and chill.
Yeah. Absolutely, you can do that. Seaboy is gonna take a while to walk over there. By the time he does, the dragon will be gone. Ocean Soul will be going towards Dusty. To be fair, with the way these fights are going and how explosive they are and how quickly they end, Dusty's not necessarily gonna benefit too much from the Ocean, because we don't see a lot of back and forth. It's literally Dusty running Bifrost down, and again, in an ideal 5 versus 5 scenario, Dusty is superior. They've got their front to backs, and now Bifrost, oh no, they're pulling the Dignitas play right here.
This is pure panic. This is desperation. FGG can flash cone into the pit. He's got that ultimate as well. Look at the damage coming out from Odie, though. They're trying to pin them in place, and a lot of damage coming out from Odie. They're looking for the turnaround. Backland will take him out. The AD carry is dead. Venza is untouched as he finds himself a kill, and Backline is just running a mockery for everybody. It's the wipe, it's the ace, it's the complete destruction of Bifrost. Dusty coming up massive.
People would say take the nameplates off because this is not Dusty. I will say put the damn nameplates back on, because this is Dusty on form. This is Dusty that can contest top 3. Viking said it. On a good day, we can beat anyone. And you know what? The only one who's beat X7 is Bifrost, and the only one who can take that back is Dusty. And oh my god, what a great game to equalize the score between the two.
Dusty are on form. 36 minutes on the clock, and Dusty take out Bifrost in a slaughterfest. That was a brilliant game.
Honestly, I personally apologize to FGG and Venza, because we have majorly underestimated them. I think that was a class act of bot lane. This was pretty much of a gap on the bot side of the map. I think Duel and Audi are some of the best bot lanes that we have in the NLC. And honestly, the Dusty bot lane just made them be completely invisible the entire time.
FGG, insane in engages. Venza, great positioning, just constantly untouched and able to put out enough damage, and Backland just making sure Odie wasn't even a champion in those team fights.
You know what? I think my MVP for this one has to be FGG, though.
I think I agree with you on that one.
Every single time, he would find the perfect flanks, the perfect engages. If he didn't, He didn't once, and the team fight was lost. It
Chef's
was
kiss.
live or die by FTG Sword, and honestly, if I had a hat,
We tip our hat to you, FTG, but we're going to throw to a break, and after that, Arkle will be having a chat with some of our players after that game, so we'll see you in a moment.
Welcome back after this amazing, beautiful game between Bifrost and Dusty. Ooh, this one was, I felt this one. Also, it was really good to have Hiprain back with all that energy. It's good to be back. And obviously, it's a good day to start week 6. Dusty, they told us in the interview it was Viking. We can beat anyone if we are on a good day. And apparently they had a really, really good day. Ever since through the champion select into inside of the Summoner's Rift, everything went accordingly. And even though it's Bifrost we're talking about, the team that took down X7 and are on second place, I believe now they'll probably go to third after the game of the week, but yada yada. They're still top of the standings, and Dusty are finally trying to get away from the 5th tie where everybody's in the middle of the standings. It's a mess. But now with me on the interview, I have Aelif, who played Gragas on the top side. Hello.
Hello.
I know you're feeling down today, so I'll keep it short, dude, but ooh, that was an awesome game by Dusty. Run me through the champion select, and obviously the pick for the Gragas on the top side, trying to go for that weak side, let's call it like that, to just tank as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted a pretty team fight heavily comp. When I saw Camille, I had a few opportunities in terms of picks. But I think like Gragas was really good because like he denies her completely in team fights. Like she can't reach the Aphelios for free. So like we have an Aphelios 3-8 with a rail going in, and like we have many tools to engage, which is pretty good to have. And I think it was just like a really nice fitting pick in this draft.
It was, and I'm a top laner. I suffer from that existence as well. And you see Camille bringing in the Ignite. You're forced to take the teleport to help the team. You were capable of going through the entire laning phase without getting killed, without getting the solo. Was that like your first priority?
I mean, today I think I played pretty bad. I got killed like twice in lane, kinda. But I think like in this type of lane, like nobody should kill each other. Like it should be like a pretty like farming lane, and only the Gragas has like really the tools to do something on the Camille, in my opinion.
One of the things that I enjoyed more on the Dusty gameplay with the fact that you guys were cohesive, like playing together. Every single time a call was made, bam, you guys went in instantly. You go for the dragons, you go for the fights on the Baron as well. What did change from the previous week to this one? Like, what's the big difference? Because this is a really good Dusty team.
I mean, bot lane smurfed early, right?
Yeah.
They killed like 3v2 in the bot lane, and then we got like huge leads, so that helps for sure. But I think like being on time on objectives and like setting up flanks, etc. Like for their comp, it was pretty hard because like Camille was never on a flank, and we always had the position first. So like we just had to press the trigger and engage all at the same time.
It made sense. You got the victory. Aelif, thank you so much. I'm going to let you rest. I know what is happening, so go rest a little bit and celebrate as well.
Thank you.
This was a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
What a massive win by Dusty. And just as he was saying, bot lane Smurf Rel on FGG was amazing on most fights, getting the flanks, protecting what he wanted. On that little fight on the bot side, when he's pretending to go away, oh, I'm just flashing away, and then all of a sudden, boom, re-engage, get the kill on the AD carry as well. Also killing the solo on Trundle. That was a massive game by Dusty, but what happened on Bifrost's side? I want to know more about the champion select, and I have C-Boy with me. There you go, hey. C-Boy, hello. Always with a smile. I love you, man. Always with a smile. Tough game, though. What happened?
Yeah, I felt like we were in control in early game, and then we did some... I ganked bot, and they killed us 3v2, which wasn't ideal, but I felt like we were still in control of the game, and I think they got a really good flank on us. I think it was the third Drake, where after that it was really hard for us to play.
I need to take a step back and realize what happened on the champion select. You guys brought in the Rise for the mid lane for Fury. There's a champion that it gets annoying in the late game because you don't kill him and he doesn't kill you as well. But didn't you guys feel like a little bit less damage on the composition?
I don't think we necessarily lacked damage. I think the problem was that our hypercarry Jinx didn't get any resources. She ended the game, I think, 0-6. And like we're not used to OD being behind. We're always used to him being ahead. So it wasn't like I don't think we needed damage in late game. It was just our AD was just too far behind to kill their front line.
Tell me about the matchup versus Viking. Obviously, that's a jungler that really likes to get that early game, tries to go for the spicy plays. How did you predict or actually adapt versus a Viking matchup?
Yeah, we know he likes to try and snowball the game early. I felt like we tried to invest a lot of vision early to figure out where he was, and I think we shut him down early quite a lot. I didn't feel like he was allowed to make aggressive plays. So I think we had him pretty much under control, and I think that was like one of the good things about this game, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, you got to take the positives, man. And I noticed that you were keeping control and tabs on the jungle, so we got to take the positives. Looking into the mid to late game, where you guys started getting the disadvantage and Jinx was falling a little bit behind, and just as you told me, you're not used to that for your AD carry. Was that a plan to come back into the game, like a specific play that you guys were trying to make in order to get hold of the game?
I think it was really hard for us since we when we fell behind with our, because we were playing front to back comp, and we just don't have the damage to go front to back. And they have Rel and Akali, who was really good at finding flanks on our Jinx. So like some of the fights, like we always try to go and get this in Sao ult, and then kite back, wait for it to expire, and then we wanted to engage again. But we were just not good enough of tracking the Rel and Akali. So they got really good flanks on us.
Even though you guys lost today, your team is still at the top of the standings, third place nonetheless. Sorry, for now you guys have second place, but who knows, at the end of the day, pretty much locked in for the playoffs as well. Just a few more games, just a few more victories. Tell me, how is the practice with the team, the scrims as well, because you guys are now looking to practice versus other teams, like other ERLs, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think right now we're playing really poorly, both in scrims and in official. I feel like we got a bit lucky with some of our wins. So right now I don't see us as a top team. I feel like we need to step up a bit. And if like we all want to go EU Masters, and I believe we can with the roster. Just right now we have a lot of issues that we need to fix. And right now we're not ready to attend EU Masters, but I'm confident that we will in the end of playoffs.
One last question, because I want to use this opportunity. You know that something's going on with the Bifrost team. Obviously, you guys are still strong. You guys are still capable. Can you pinpoint what it is and how easy it is to fix it?
I'm not really sure. I feel like there's some, like, more than one problem that we need to fix. And I don't think it's something that's just going to take, like, one day. So
yeah,
I think on Wednesday we're gonna be underdogs as well, and I'm pretty sure we can still beat XL, but we have to have a good day then. And right now we don't have a lot of those.
Who knows? Maybe that's the good day. Keep the confidence up, Seaboy. It's always lovely to talk with you. It was a pleasure again, and good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love talking with this guy. He's amazing. Obviously, Bifrost still trying to fix some things up. What is happening on the roster? How can you deal with that? But more to do on Wednesday. We should probably talk about that Wednesday. But now we're going to jump into a little break before we jump for the next game. It's going to be Eminem versus Varnier. It's going to be a good one. Oh, Hiprain is going to have fun today. I'll see you right after this break.